Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty. Right before you is the Nigerian flag. So yes, this particular topic will be on the country of Nigeria, the most populous country in Africa, with over 200 million people and growing. Now, this particular video today came about because of a conversation in which I had with a poster about 3 days ago. And in this particular conversation, he mentioned that Nigerian women, 77% of them were bleaching, making their skin lighter, some would say whiter. But I disputed that particular claim because I've been studying these type of numbers, statistics for over 20 years. And I knew that was a bunch of bullshit. And these numbers were given out from the WHO organization. And people of color need to recognize that many of these organizations are not your friends. They are there to make you look bad, to make you look just terrible in the worst possible light. So we're going to examine this particular number about this claim that 77% of Nigerian women use some type of bleach or are bleaching their particular skin. So, this particular story came about, if you were to do further research, it came about around in 1998. So actually, and it was published in 2002. So it's an old number. It's an old statistics that really has the claims are baseless. There's nothing to really back it up. And we will get into that as we go along into the video. So according to WHO, 77% of Nigerian women use skin lightening products, which is the highest percentage in the world. In Togo, it's 59%. In South Africa, 35%. Skin bleaching causes skin cancers, kidney failures, liver failures, weak skin, and hurts unborn children. Okay, first of all, let me make this claim. I'm not disputing that skin bleaching does take place in Africa, that it does take place in Nigeria. Yes, it does. And this needs to be addressed. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be condemned. What I am condemning is a number of 77%. That's a lie right there. There is no way that anyone has ever conducted a survey of 77% of Nigerian women. That's an impossibility. We're talking about a country with over 200 million people. We can probably say half men, half women. So you're going to tell me that you went in there and conducted a survey, or you sampled 77 million Nigerian women? When was this done? How was it done? Where's the data? Where's the paperwork? Show me and prove it. Or better yet, show Nigerians to prove that. But here's the problem with this whole thing. Many of these numbers cannot be let's say, indoctrinated into the society of Nigeria without the help of Nigerians themselves. So many of these numbers are pushed into the country, are given to the country. And what's being banked on is that Nigerians will accept these numbers without questioning anything, without asking for any type of research, without asking or requesting proof. And this is what I'm talking about. This is called, I guess, the Nigerian version of The View. And these four ladies, I guess they're Nigerian descent. I want you to hear what they have to say about this particular topic about Nigerian women and skin bleaching.
And you will never be perfect, because if a person doesn't like you the way you are, they will never like you.
They said 70% of Nigerian women bleach, right? Because their men want them fair. People like me were put under serious pressure growing up to change our skin tone. As a matter of fact, it got even modeling. We'll go for auditions, you're good, but you don't get the...
Okay, so you heard that. You heard them cite that particular number. It's just amazing to me that Nigerians are not questioning anything, that they are not, asking for what is the proof, what is the data. And people may say that you're not Nigerian, what do you know about this particular topic? I'm an American, but guess what? Black people in America do the exact same thing. They accept numbers from the enemies, from these organizations that are hell-bent on making you look bad, that are hell-bent on showing you in the worst possible light. And black people in America do the exact same thing. They do not question anything. They do not ask for proof. They don't even ask you to show me how they got these numbers. Now, I want you to look at this news clip right here. And this is another guy in Nigeria. I believe he's Nigerian. And he's going to do the exact same thing. Take the number that WHO gave out.
22-year-old Taiwo Solomon applies skin bleaching agents on her body. For her, this has been a daily routine for the past 15 years. Now, several shades lighter, she says, her new skin makes her feel more beautiful and confident.
I'm not seeking to be totally white. I just want to look beautiful. I can't stop using the lightening agents.
In many parts of Africa, lighter-skinned women are considered more beautiful and believed to be more successful and likely to find marriage. According to the World Health Organization, 8 out of 10 women in Nigeria use skin lightening products, the world's highest percentage. But it's not only women who are obsessed with bleaching their skins. Men too are involved in the practice. In a market in Lagos, business is booming in shops selling skin lightening products.
Black people around the world, in and out of Africa, we have got to do better. We have got to stop being so gullible and believing everything that people tell us about ourselves. Whether we're in Nigeria, in America, we're in Canada, whether we're in Europe, whether we're in South America, we have got to start asking questions. As long as we don't, they're just going to keep vomiting us this junk right here and hope that enough people can catch it and spit it out there. Now, a country like Nigeria, I can tell you why this is not true, and I can tell you how they got this particular number. Basically, what they would do, they would go into a certain area with a small sample size. Let's just say 400 people. And out of that 400 people, if 300 and something, it comes to 77% of them make a claim that yes, they have tried this particular soap, cream, or bleaching product, they will base that upon the whole country. And the question can be rigged as so like the farther back they go, let's say, have you used a product within the past 20 years, the past 10 years? Or the past 5 years, but let's just say 20, because the farther back you go, obviously the more people that you can get. So these sample sizes tend to be very small, and what they will always do to black people worldwide, you can bank on this, they would apply it to everyone. They would generalize and say the whole sum of the people are doing this, are acting this particular way, are using this particular product. And people, it's really a shame that, on our view, where we have these women here, that they didn't ask any questions. They just accepted it as fact. And I don't think that people realize many a times these numbers are divide and conquer tactic, getting you to hate yourself, getting you to feel uncomfortable with yourself, with the way that you look, with your skin complexion. With the complexions of others. It's kind of like teaching you in a way to value people who are lighter. But it's just like a reverse psychology thing of which they're doing. They put out a bogus number that 77% of Nigerian women out there are using bleaching products, but that number is nowhere near true. And people need to understand that to do a survey in a country like Nigeria is extremely difficult. We're talking about a population of over 200 million people, and we're talking about a very extreme terrains. We're talking about countries that have rivers, valleys, rugged highlands, hills, and mountains. People that can live in the inner cities, people live in the outer cities. There's no way in the world that they have ever conducted a survey of, to get that particular number, 77% of the population comes to like that millions upon millions of women. They have not done that. They have not done that with people. And in a minute, we're going to see how they came about with this particular number. And you're going to see that it is mirrored what I stated. I wrote this poster 3 or 4 days ago, and it's going to pretty much confirm what I've been stating, what I have pretty much speculated. So, 3 in 4 Nigerian women use skin bleaching lighteners. No data to support the claim. So 3 in 4 women, I mean, no one anywhere has ever conducted a survey to really hold truthful data to prove a point that 3 in 4 women are using these products. It's impossible to do that. Let's look at this. Media reports in a number of countries say 77% of Nigerian women use skin lightening cosmetics. The statistic was traced to a 2002 study of 450 traders in the city of Lagos. See that? Actually, it was the study was done in 1998, but it was published in 2002. Let's look farther. The statistics were traced to a 2002 study of 450 traders in the city of Lagos. The small study doesn't represent the whole country, and there's almost no other data on skin lightening use in Nigeria. So do you hear that? That was a small study in Lagos, a very small study of one particular place right then and there, and they pretty much broad-based painted the whole country out of that one study. Let's go farther. 3 in 4 women in Nigeria regularly use skin lighteners, claim a host of international media reports. The BBC, The Guardian in the UK, CNN in the US. Let's stop right there. Nigerians, why are you believing international studies about yourselves? Why aren't you doing studies to conduct this, from your own country? You have the means, you have the brain power to do this. This just shows you that, this is very reckless for people to even believe studies, Nigerians to believe these studies about themselves. It creates and fosters a form of self-hatred, a form not really liking yourselves. People need to understand that when these studies are done and conducted and put out there like that, it is not for your own benefit. It is not to get you to love yourself or to like yourself or to love other Nigerians or black people as a whole. These studies are there to cause dissension. There is no way in the world that anyone has ever done a study or survey where they're going to sample 77% of Nigerian women out of a country of over 200 million people with vast terrains, rivers, mountains, valleys, highlands, cities, inner cities, outer cities. They're not going to do that. All of these studies are small samples in which they always do and apply it to the whole of the country. Notice that it's negative too. It's not anything positive, but yet they never talk about anything negative in Europe as to what's going on there, such as the women not being able to conceive. You want to talk about the low birth rate? Part of the low birth rate problem is the very fact that they just cannot conceive, period. In vitro fertilization, frozen embryos, test tube babies were invented to help European women conceive because they cannot. They have a much more difficult time conceiving than other races of people. And Nigerians should realize that a lot of people are jealous of you. You may look at Europeans as being your friends, but they are jealous of you. Jealous why? Because you have the most successful birth rate in the world. The most successful birth rate. You're the fastest growing country in the world. People don't like that. They won't report on that. They won't report on how healthy your babies are. They're not going to report on how you have no problems conceiving. Yet they want to throw this wrench in there about some type of 77% of the women there are bleaching. And notice how they attack the women. There was a few men in that particular study, but notice how they are going after the women, who they want to attack. So people need to be extremely careful, and people need to question things, do research, ask questions, ask for documentation. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But to put this number out there recklessly, and for people to accept it, and worse off for Nigerians to accept this particular number without questioning anything, that's a tragedy in itself right there. Black people everywhere, we have got to be more diligent and alert, and we need to do better. Because people are banking on us not questioning anything. They are banking on us accepting their garbage as fact. And they are accepting us as presenting this stuff for the next generation to swallow. This was a study that was done in 1998. It was published in 2002. 20 years later, here it is still around. It's enduring. And the only way that it can endure is if a people have accepted it as fact. And unfortunately, what you have seen here is that too many Nigerians have accepted this as fact. Let's change this. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty. And I will see you all beyond and through.